Introduction. In a dramatic escalation of tensions in the Middle East, reports have emerged suggesting a substantial number of U.S. military casualties in the ongoing conflict against Iran. Despite official figures released by the Trump administration, questions swirl about the accuracy of these reports, with allegations that the actual number of U.S. troops killed or wounded may be significantly higher. This controversy comes amidst a broader strategic campaign by the United States aimed at dismantling Iran's military capabilities, particularly its nuclear ambitions. Hook. The Intercept has reported that nearly 750 American troops have been wounded or killed since the conflict began in October 2023, citing two U.S. government officials who disclosed that hundreds of personnel have been affected. This stark figure contrasts with the more conservative estimates provided by the Trump administration, raising concerns about transparency and the true cost of the conflict. Exa. Mining the official narrative asterisks. According to the report, the Pentagon is allegedly underreporting casualty figures with a significant disparity between public statements and classified assessments. The Intercept suggests that the U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, has been issuing outdated casualty statements, lacking the detail and clarity necessary to provide a full picture of the situation. For instance, while the Trump administration acknowledges 8 military fatalities linked to the war, other reports point to at least 15 deaths, not accounting for additional injuries such as those sustained during an incident aboard the USS Gerald Ford. The voice of the administration. In a recent statement, President Donald Trump addressed the loss of American lives, emphasizing the resolve of the families affected. When you have conflicts like this, you always have death, he stated. I met the parents, and they were unbelievable people, but they all had one thing in common. They said, to me, one thing, every single one, finish the job, sir, please finish the job. Despite the somber reflections on the human cost, President Trump maintains a confident outlook on the progress of the military campaign. He predicted a swift conclusion to hostilities, stating, I think we're 2 or 3 weeks. He asserted that the primary objective, preventing Iran from developing nuclear weapons, has been achieved, with the regime set back significantly. We've set them back. It'll take 15 to 20 years for them to rebuild what we've done to them, he declared. Military strategy and implications. The U.S. military strategy appears focused on crippling Iran's military infrastructure, with President Trump outlining a comprehensive plan to systematically dismantle the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. This includes the destruction of Iran's Navy, Air Force, and missile program, alongside efforts to undermine its defense industria. L-base, their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their missiles are just about used up or beaten, he claimed. However, this aggressive posture has not gone unchallenged. Reports from CNN indicate that Iran retains a significant portion of its missile and drone capabilities, despite the sustained U.S. and Israeli strikes. An intelligence official noted thousands of Iranian drones still exist and warned of Iran's continued potential to wreak absolute havoc across the entire region. Iran's response, in a defiant message, Iranian officials have dismissed U.S. claims of success, asserting that the American assessments of Iran's military capacity are incomplete. You know nothing of our vast and strategic capabilities. Do not hope that you have destroyed our strategic missile production sites, they warned, adding that Iran's strategic military production sites remain beyond the reach of U.S. forces. This rhetoric underscores the ongoing tension and the potential for FIRT. Per escalation, despite the U.S. administration's optimistic projections, the Iranian military's ability to retaliate remains a critical factor, with continued ballistic missile and drone threats posing challenges to U.S. and allied forces in the region. The human cost and policy debate. The controversy over casualty reporting has sparked a broader debate about the human cost of the conflict and the transparency of government communications. Critics argue that the underreporting of casualties undermines public trust and hinders informed debate about U.S. foreign policy and military engagements. As the conflict unfolds, the demand for accountability and accurate information is likely to intensify, with implications for both domestic and international perceptions of the U.S. role in the Middle East. Conclusion of part 1. As the situation in the Middle East remains fluid, the stakes are high for all parties involved. The U.S. administration's efforts to project strength and resolve are met with skepticism and concern over the true costs and consequences of military action. The coming weeks may prove decisive as diplomatic and military maneuvers continue to shape the landscape of this complex and volatile conflict. Asterisks. Part 2, detailed analysis, deep dive, and conclusion asterisks. The recent conflict between the United States and Iran has reignited discussions on military transparency and the dissemination of information regarding casualties. The Intercept's report, suggesting that nearly 750 U.S. troops have been killed or wounded, starkly contrasts with the Trump administration's official figures, which acknowledge only 8 fatalities. This raises critical questions about the disparity in numbers and the potential implications of underreporting. The Pentagon's alleged underreporting of casualties, as cited by The Intercept, includes claims that CENTCOM has been issuing outdated casualty figures. These figures reportedly lack the necessary details to paint an accurate picture of the U.S. military's human cost in the Middle East. The report highlights a specific incident aboard the USS Gerald Ford, where over 200 soldiers were treated for smoke inhalation or other injuries, yet these were not included in the official count. The Trump administration's military campaign against Iran, dubbed Operation Epic Fury, aims to dismantle Iran's military capabilities, particularly its nuclear ambitions. President Trump has been vocal about the campaign's objectives, stating that it seeks to systematically dismantle the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. The U.S. military strategy involves a comprehensive assault on Iran's Navy, Air Force, and missile program, as well as its defense industrial base, according to U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. The campaign has significantly reduced Iran's missile attacks against American forces by 90%, and similar reductions have been observed in the deployment of attack drones. Iran's response and remaining capabilities. Despite the extensive U.S. military campaign, reports suggest that Iran retains significant military capabilities. According to U.S. intelligence assessments reported by CNN, approximately 50% of Iran's missile launchers remain intact, and thousands of attack drones are still operational. This assessment indicates that despite the damage inflicted by U.S. and Israeli strikes, Iran's military remains capable of causing considerable disruption in the region. Iranian officials have responded defiantly, asserting their military's resilience and dismissing U.S. claims of significant damage. In a statement, Iranian military officials declared, "You know nothing of our vast and strategic capabilities. Do not hope that you have destroyed our strategic missile production sites, long-range offensive drones, modern air defense and electronic warfare systems, or Specia. L equipment, strategic implications and future prospects. The ongoing conflict has significant implications for regional stability and international relations." The U.S. strategy of dismantling Iran's military infrastructure is intended to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons and to limit its ability to support regional proxies. However, the conflict also risks exacerbating tensions in an already volatile region. The potential for a negotiated settlement remains uncertain. President Trump has suggested that a deal could be reached before the complete military objectives are achieved, but he has also emphasized the importance of achieving the core strategic goals regardless of Iran's willingness to negotiate. Conclusion. The U.S.-Iran conflict presents a complex and multifaceted challenge for policymakers and military strategists. The discrepancy in casualty figures underscores the importance of transparency and accurate reporting in maintaining public trust and informed discourse. As the military campaign progresses, the international community will be closely monitoring developments and assessing the broader implications for regional security and global stability. In summary, the conflict between the United States and Iran is a critical juncture in Middle Eastern geopolitics. While the U.S. military campaign aims to neutralize perceived threats and achieve strategic objectives, the path to lasting peace and stability remains fraught with challenges and uncertainties. As the situation unfolds, the international community will continue to grapple with the complex dynamics of power, diplomacy, and military engagement in the region.